Hey everyone, it is Sequoia with the Chase Street Renaissance. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I got this really nice blue colored jar using my pigment from Direct Colors. I'm going to go through a couple of things here. This video is going to be kind of quick. I really don't want it to be long-winded because the process of how I make my jars is the same. I'm just going to be showing you how I add my pigment, which I don't believe I've actually showed you this particular method, and I actually like it a little bit better. So yesterday, I tried to record this video, which is how I got this jar here, and my phone died in the middle of recording, so it didn't capture anything, which is really good because now I get to unmold this. I know exactly how much pigment I used, and I get to let you know, and we get to see how close it is to this particular blue. And I think it's gonna be a little bit darker, but we will see. So before I get too deep into it, I'm gonna go ahead and cue my beautiful intro because y'all know how I feel about it, and we'll get right into it. Okay, so the pigment that I got from Direct Colors, which if you guys have ordered from Direct Colors or checked out their site, it comes in these bags. You can buy, they have a sample option where you can get 5 sample colors, and they come in 16 ounces, and they come in these bags, and it's labeled with the color of the pigment on the front of the bag. So what I did was I got these jars, these plastic jars. It has a handle and a flip top here that makes pouring really easily. And I got these from the dollar store, literally from Dollar Tree. And they're probably like $1.25 now because they raised their prices, but you can't really beat $1. And I got a couple of them to put all my colors in. And I just cut out the number of the pigment from the bag and taped it on the front. That way I wouldn't lose that information. So it's number 202. It's a really, really vibrant cobalt type of blue. But I honestly feel that you would have to use quite a bit of pigment to achieve a jar of this color. If you want it to be exactly the same as the pigment, I think you're gonna have to use quite a bit if you're using cement all, or you're going to have to start with a white base. So I'm gonna unmold this jar first to show you guys the comparison of the jar that I already have made. And the blue jar in the front there that's already unmolded is the jar that's on one of my cover photos for, I believe, my Direct Colors video. I'm struggling. Oh my gosh. All right, let me stop acting like I don't know what I'm doing. This is crazy. I don't unmold with gloves on. That's why I felt like I struggled just now. But anyway. Okay. So that's actually pretty close. I didn't build up my base too far, so the base is kind of stupid. But once I realized my phone died, I really didn't care about this jar any longer. So that's actually pretty close. This still has some drying to do, obviously. It sat in the mold overnight, but it still has some drying to do. So I'll come back later on today and see how it looks. But this is actually pretty close. So I used about 2 teaspoons of the blue pigment to achieve this color. And like I said, it still has some drying to do. So looks good. So I'm gonna sit those aside and then show you guys how I did that. I'm actually gonna use my large bowl because my small bowl still has cement in it. And I love these bowls because you can just crack that right out. Even the base of the bowl, you can bend. It's a very, very pliable bowl. You crack all that out. I actually do one of these and just kind of rub it together. That's kind of how I get my bowls clean. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna get right into it because the purpose of this video is solely to show you how I got that blue color and how I add my color to my mixture. So I I think in my last video, when I discussed direct colors, I added the pigment to my mixture. I had mixed my cement with my water, and I added the color to that cement water mixture. This time around, I added it to the cement before I did that, before I added my water. And I actually like that method better because when I poured the water in, I can't think. Because when I poured the water in, it actually didn't give me all those clumps that it would normally give me if I added it to the cement water mixture, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do my same measurements. You can check out some of my earlier videos to know what my measurements are. 300 grams of cement, 60 grams of water. But before I add my water, I got about 303 grams of cement right there. And so I'm gonna take this measuring spoon here. It's 1 teaspoon. And what I did was, I would give it a little shake because it does get a little clumpy. And I just, disregard, we're all allowed mistakes. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. I didn't fill that other teaspoon up 100% because I dropped some in there already. So I'm just gonna give that a light mix. Break up any chunks that you might see. I'm gonna tare my scale and I'm gonna pour my water directly into my mixture until I reach 60 grams. That's about 63. I'm actually gonna go 65 because yesterday I did 60 grams of cement and my mixture was just a little bit thicker than I like it. And it wasn't even thick, but you guys know, if you've seen my earlier videos, you know I like a thinner consistency. And do you see how quickly you get that blue color? I feel like when you add the pigment to the cement water mixture, you don't see the color pop through straight away. I'll have to kind of test that out and do it again and see if my theory is right. But I just don't recall the blue popping through that quickly when I did this before. I'm gonna move my scale. And you just wanna press your mixture along the side, break up any clumps that you might have. Now, generally I would add my water first and then add my cement. If I'm working with any more than I'm pouring, I know that I'm pouring more than, I would say, 2 jars at a time, I put my water in first. So that looks good. Now keep in mind, like I said, if you haven't seen any of my earlier videos, the 300 grams of cement and the 60 grams of water is only for the base. It does not include the lid. So we're gonna go ahead and pour. And that is pretty much it. That's how I like my consistency. I don't have to tap my jar constantly. I'll do a little tap at the end. I have just enough to make 1 jar, no more, no less. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just scraping the excess out of the jar. Oh, I'm sorry, out of the bowl, just to top off. And you guys know that this is the Shape Makery mold, or if you didn't know, this is the mold from Shape Makery, which you can find on Etsy. This is my absolute favorite mold. It's so easy to work with. I know I look like I struggled to unmold it, but I mean, you want a firm mold, you know, but it is nowhere near as difficult as the mold from Amazon. And I absolutely hate that mold. I despise that mold 100%. I used it a few times and threw it away. I could not. I hated it. But that is it. That is how I achieved that blue color. And as this is sitting here drying more, I think that 2 teaspoons is enough. I know it looks really dark there in comparison, but this is still drying. This is completely dry. And I think that as this dries, it will lighten up a little bit. So I think that anywhere from 1 to 2 teaspoons is gonna give you a really nice baby blue. And that is it for this video. If you want me to do more colors, I have this gold color here that kind of gives me a flesh tone or an earth tone, I guess, type of color. I have yellow jars. Just to give you an idea, this one is more tan, kind of, you know, earth tones, neutrals, I should say. And this one is more yellow. If you want to see terracotta, which is my Quikrete color, please just let me know and I can let you guys know and see my method. But so I know that went kind of quick. The next thing I'm going to test out is adding the pigment, whether it be with the cement, with the Quikrete or the direct colors, and then I'm going to try adding some acrylic paint and see how that goes. I haven't done that yet, but I do know that the acrylic paint really does suck the moisture out of your jar, so I'm going to play around with that a little bit, and then once I figure out my method, I'll come back and show you guys that and try to get that video up as soon as possible. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and I'll see you guys in the next video.